Hey, podcast friends, Happy New Year. Happy January. I hope you're all doing well. It is the beginning of the month, and I don't know about you, but I am excited to dig back into routines. I love the holidays. I hope you guys had a great holiday too. We took basically the last 2 weeks off, which was nice. Of course, being entrepreneurs, did a little bit of work here and there, of course, but just nice to have some downtime with our boys. We did not travel. We were close to home, so that was nice. And yeah, back at it. So I wanted to record a podcast really quick because we just kicked off our first Coffee with Katie for the new year, which is our Monday morning call we do every Monday for our Get Social Smart Academy. And I thought it was really relevant to share a couple things here with you guys, our podcast listeners, because today I was talking about how to make the most out of our academy, what our membership's all about for our new members and also our seasoned members. But I also shared some of our, I don't want to say predictions because I don't have a crystal ball, but we shared just some of the things that we're really focused on for 2026 in terms of my own content, my own strategy, and what we're focused on in the academy. In the spirit of transparency, I thought, why not share it with our podcast friends? So here we go. What I want to share here on the podcast is breaking it down to what we think is important for 2026 in no particular order. So the first thing is creating a sustainable system. And one of the things I talked about today in Coffee with Katie was this idea of you have to have a plan. Like I have worked with a plan, I have worked without a plan. And I just find that if you're going to be sustainable with content and social media and just all the things, you have to have a plan. And it doesn't mean that the plan has to be perfect. It has to be a breathable plan. It is not a plan that you just like craft it, it looks beautiful, and then it sits on a shelf. Like it is a living, breathing document that you will look at really all year long. And shameless plug, but we are hosting our 2026 planning masterclass again next week. So if you wanted to attend and missed it in December, I'm hosting it again. I will put the information in the show notes below. But if you're part of the academy, it's included in your membership. If you're not part of the academy, you can always join the academy or you can sign up for the class separately. But basically, we're helping you map out your 2026 content and social media plan. And so this whole month, we're really focused on talking about getting your plan together, making a breathable plan. One of the things I'm also teaching later this month in the academy is content organization with Google Sheets. I had a lot of you reach out, especially after my Katie's favorite things. A lot of you were like, yes, more Google training. I cannot teach Google in an hour. So depending on your feedback and what people are looking for, I'm happy to pull things out that I think make sense. We are teaching in a couple weeks on the 19th, Google content organization with Google Sheets. So super excited about that. I'll put that information in the show notes below. But yeah, creating a sustainable plan, that is first and foremost. The second thing that I think is really important for 2026 is more humanity, smarter AI, like still using AI, but I think we're at this tipping point. I think a lot of us are just tired of all the AI slop we're seeing. I feel like every time I see a video and realize it's AI, there's like this, sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's cool, but oftentimes, especially if I know the person, there's like this ick feeling of, ugh, that's not really them. And I know you can make an AI avatar and you can do all these things, but for me and what we're teaching or what we're really focused on is still using AI, but using it behind the scenes to streamline your business, to get inspiration, to just help make things faster on the back end. Things like video editing, right? I'm a huge fan of using tools like Descript because they have some great AI tools, but not using it to replace you. And like one of the examples I gave today, just today I posted a reel, and I'll link that also below if you want to check it out. But I posted a reel where I wanted to do a voiceover. So I had all these clips and I went into ChatGPT and I was like, okay, I want to do this voiceover and here's what the video is about. And can you help me come up with a script? So with a script. And I actually recorded it and I was like, okay, this is pretty good. And then I saved it in my drafts and I didn't post it and I didn't post it. And I didn't post it because I was like, this isn't totally sounding like me. And so what I ended up doing is actually like deleting the voiceover and then redoing it how I would do it. But my point is that I was able to really clarify what I wanted because I used ChatGPT as a way to brainstorm and talk through it. And I didn't copy and paste. I just used it as an inspiration for what I wanted to say in my words. So at the end of the day, especially if you're in real estate or if you're an entrepreneur, it's all about the know and trust factor. So I just think showing up more humanity, it's more and more important than ever before. The third thing is be true to who you are and lean into your niches. I said this last year. I really think 2026 is going to be the year of the niche. And it's being really specific on who you want to work with, who you like to work with, taking a stand on things, and also sharing your other passions. Like I am excited to share more of just my own personal hobbies. Like I love Broadway. I have a collection of playbills. I love stickers. I love coffee. I love travel. I have cats. I'm a parent. It doesn't mean you have to share every private moment, but bringing people into who you are, what makes you tick. Maybe it's a fun game you're playing. I personally love to share movies. I did this a lot over the holidays. You don't have to be on camera. Take a picture of whatever you're watching. Take a picture of the book that you're reading. Share that. People love to get an insight into who you are and what you're all about. And it also leads to a relatability. You've heard me say this before, like these kind of small conversations around what you're watching, what you're reading, what you're up to. Those lead to building connections. They lead to the DMs. They lead to bigger conversations. So be true to who you are, lean into your niches, and you don't always have to be on camera, although it is important, but not always. All right, the next thing that I think is really important that we're focused on for 2026, building relationships online and offline, and community, I think is key. I think people are craving community, especially with the algorithms and we're not seeing things. We're barely seeing people we're following. And so a few things that we are doing, as much as I love online and I love tech, we're going more analog in a lot of ways. And again, the reel I just talked about a second ago, that's the reel I kind of show some of the things that we're doing a little bit more analog, like writing more handwritten notes, more one-to-one emails. Yes, again, there's certain things that you can do behind the scenes that are scalable, right? Like email marketing and drip email campaigns. But there's nothing like a handwritten note. There's nothing like a personalized email to somebody, right? Where you're like, hey, I was thinking of you and, whatever it might be. There's also nothing like an in-person meeting someone for coffee, small personalized events. We saw this last year with our Get Social Smart Mastermind where we went really small. And there's something I think really powerful about that. So one of the things we talked about in the academy was like, do you have a goal for these activities? How many notes do you want to send? How many calls do you want to make? How many one-to-one emails do you want to send? And this goes along the lines with your content and social media, because the truer you are to that, the truer you are in how you show up and how you attract. And ultimately, the content you put out on social and, video content, podcast content, whatever it is, it should spark a conversation. It should spark curiosity, right? One of the things we're also doing is more community Zooms for our academy. We would do this periodically, but we're doing this more in 2026 where we're doing more community Zooms, getting more people on camera, doing hot seats, ask me anything. So I'm super excited about that because honestly, I know I'm biased, but our community is one of the best. I love it. Another thing we're really focused on for 2026 is getting really comfortable filming and being on camera. Well, this is not new. We've talked about getting on video for freaking forever, but I really think this has got to be the year that you get comfortable just being on camera. And regardless of what level you're at, we've been doing more things. For example, one of the things I'm doing to stretch myself out of my comfort zone, I used to do a ton of talk to video or talk to camera reels, which I will continue to do. But now I am doing more where I'm setting up tripods. I'm getting different angles. I'm propping up my camera in random places, on bookshelves, in the kitchen. I'm getting shots of me pouring coffee, typing on the computer, walking around the house, reading a book. And believe it or not, some of this stuff is a little outside my comfort zone, right? It's not only like how we look, it's also how our bodies are perceived out in the world. And I think for a lot of us, myself included, we all have just different things we like or don't like about ourselves. But it can't be denied that that is still one of the most powerful ways to connect with people. And if you can set aside some time, one of the things I always recommend is set aside a day or two where you got a cute outfit on, you're feeling good, that you can batch record a bunch of stuff. So you've got content in the can. And one of the things I talked about today is when you have a moment where you're feeling good, if you can use that moment to also record some content, this goes back to having a plan, because there's nothing worse than, oh, great, I feel cute. I should make a video. I don't know what to do a video about. That's where the plan comes in, right? That's where having a plan where you can go, okay, here's some content I was thinking of recording. Let's bang that out. Or, hey, let's get a couple shots of this. So that's super important. And then the other thing I talk about too is just knowing how to use your phone. And it sounds silly, but like just basic things with your phone, knowing how to edit and trim simply on your phone, I think makes a big difference. Yes, there's apps you can use like CapCut, and we use Descript for longer form stuff, but know how to trim out little pauses in your video. Know how to take a longer video and just trim out a little clip. Like the more you get to know just the basics of your phone, honestly, the better it's going to be. The easier it's going to be. And actually, this is a big focus we have in the Academy is teaching agents and brokers this year how to make content better, faster, quicker. Nobody needs to be spending 3 hours making a TikTok. That's ridiculous, especially if you're in real estate. What else? What are some other things to consider? I think a big opportunity is spending more time in the comments. You guys, if you are chronically online like I am, you see how many likes people get on comments, especially if you're active on TikTok. You see this a lot. You see a TikTok, you look at the comments, people are getting thousands of likes on a comment. And we are seeing that on Instagram and Facebook. So one of the things I talked about today in the Academy was what most agents are doing, if they are engaging, is they're responding to comments, they're just scrolling through their feed. But what if you were more proactive? Like, where are the people in your market hanging out? Are they hanging out at the local coffee shops? Or are they part of Rotary Club? Are they in the Little League? Are they the local candy shop? Like, you've got to be proactive, not just in liking and commenting those posts, but liking and leaving a meaningful comment. Because if you leave a really great comment, that's a sentence or 2 or 3 sentences, something really meaningful, you're probably going to get a lot of likes. And it's a way to be seen in the comments of like local influencers, things like that. So that's super important. What else? Yes, like I said, learning how to make content better, faster, building your database is another big thing, right? We all know social media is rented ground. So that's another thing that we're definitely focused on. And then lastly, the power of the written word. This is something it's funny because I used to have a blog for years and years. So just exploring what that looks like. We're seeing a huge rise in Substack. I don't have a Substack, but I'd be curious if you have a Substack or do you follow people on Substack? I feel like this is a big emerging trend that we've seen over the last year or so. LinkedIn, we publish a LinkedIn newsletter a few times a month. I just think that there's the power of the written word. Anyways, those are a few of the things that we're focused on for the new year. I would love to hear from you. What are some of the things you are thinking about? What are some of the things you're focused on? Do you agree with some of these things? Do you disagree? As always, my DMs are open. Send me a DM at Katie Lance. And as far as what is coming up in the Academy for 2026, we are continuing our weekly Coffee with Katie each and every week. We're doing master classes throughout the year. We are really building our community. We've got an amazing community with our just agents and brokers from all over the world. Shameless plug, but if you're not yet part of our Academy family, we would love to have you. Go to katielance.com/Academy, get signed up. You can sign up monthly or yearly, and there's no contracts, and you can cancel anytime. And you get access to, again, live training with me, master classes, all of our content calendars. I just think finding a community is so important. Hey, last thing I want to mention real quick too, that I recommended also, one of the things we're doing is investing time into communities that you're already invested in. So if you're already investing time or money into a community, how can you make the most out of that? For example, if you're already part of the Academy, one of the things I recommended is making time, maybe it's once a week, maybe it's an hour once a week to really invest in catching up or looking at the education opportunities available, things like that. We're doing that with some of the platforms we're already paying for. I'm thinking to myself, I'm already paying for Zoom. We pay for Kajabi, which hosts our Academy. What are things that we are already paying for that we're not making the most use out of? A lot of us tend to get into these habits where we sign up for something, we use it to a certain degree, and then we never really learn all the nuances of how to use it better. So that's one of the things that we are focused on, and I would just encourage you to do as well. Anyways, there you go. Happy New Year. I am excited about what the new year is going to bring. We are still working on our podcast plan. Like I said, the plan is a little bit of a moving target, and it's all good. It's all good if you don't have your whole plan worked out. I would say the one part of our plan for 2026 that we're still working out is the podcast. But the beautiful thing is, it's all good. It's all good. All right. Bye, friend. Happy New Year. As always, if you enjoyed this, we'd love if you'd subscribe to the podcast. We are planning on recording more and more as we work through our plan. And leave a positive review wherever you're listening. Spotify, Apple, they definitely make a difference. And please connect with me over on the gram. Best you can do is share this out Feel free to take a screenshot of this podcast, share it out on your Instagram story, tag me. We'd love to know that you tuned in. All right, my friends, have an awesome day. We'll see you soon. Happy New Year. Bye for now.